Hey, 420 MSP back with one of our leading CannaTech influencers in Jerry Abiog over at Standard Insights. How you doing? Good to see you again.
Hey, Harry, great to see you again. I know we met up at MJ BizCon by accident, if you will, at one of our partners' booths. So it was cool to do that after meeting on Zoom a few weeks back.
Yeah, and I wish we had more time. Busy show, never enough time at that show, but any of it. Standard Insights. First of all, what's your personal story and what's the story on Standard Insights?
Yeah, personal story. I've got 25 plus years in sales and marketing experience. About 10 years ago, I went out on my own, did my own thing with helping software companies with sales and marketing initiatives. Worked for another AI startup a few years back. That failed, but then took the lessons learned from that failure, and then through serendipitous events, myself and three other guys formed Standard Insights.
Yeah.
And what Standard Insights does, it's AI as a service marketing platform, and we help businesses leverage their first-party customer data to help them drive growth and improve their market share. And the way we do this is we help those businesses prioritize and execute data-driven omnichannel campaigns to help them target the right person with the right product at the right time.
Yep, that's great. So, Jerry, you're using the word that's familiar to my past life in technology and the MSPs and channel partners, omnichannel. What is omnichannel?
It's targeting your customer wherever they find your product or buy your product. So that could be, online or in brick and mortar, and maybe reaching out to them, whether it's email, text, or social media. Though cannabis, you can't really do social media, but yeah, just wherever the customer meets you.
Yeah, and the reason I ask is, I have my own view of that word, but for the benefit of our viewers, it's not a word everybody hears all the time, right? So
Right.
I'm looking at your website. Maybe you can kind of run me through your workflow: measure, connect, engage, and improve. And then I want to ask you a couple questions as an influencer.
Yeah, go ahead. So really it starts off with getting that data, right? And running it through our AI engine. What's that connecting pattern? Well, we're pulling data. You could do it the good old fashioned spreadsheets, but they're coming from ERPs, they're coming from an e-commerce platform and their point of sale. That runs through our AI engine. That AI engine makes certain predictions, right? So it can predict, so if you're a dispensary, you've got 10,000 customers, 500-600 products, can predict what each of those people are likely to buy. It can predict the potential profitability of one of your customers, right? So now you can, accurate segmentation of pricing and promotions, right? You never want to give away the margin. Number three, it could predict when a particular product, like the CBD, how many of this will sell in a given day, week, or month. So now you've got these predictions. Well, what do you do with that? Well, you've got to take that data and run with it, if you will, right? Because if you don't do anything with that data, it's like driving a car or having a nice car and it just sits in a garage. So now you're executing campaigns, email, text, triggers to get me to reorder this. If you see me, I order this, once every 3 weeks. And then it's measuring and adjusting and how you can improve, right? So what do we measure? Well, typically everyone's going to tell you to drive sales, and we're no different, but we approach it from a data-driven perspective. So what does that mean? Well, it's improving customer experience, preventing customer indecision, telling the customer what to do next. So if you can get that, it's never always going to be perfect, right? And then you can improve sales. You can increase average order value. You can prevent customer churn.
Yep.
It's a constant loop.
A man after my own heart. As you and I talked offline, I did a analytics startup in Seattle for a couple of years, so I'm totally on board. Do you serve just dispensaries, or do you serve growers and processors and manufacturers?
So all the above, as long as they have data. Where we met each other, right? Those guys serve growers primarily at the booth we met. So, but as long as they have a good solid data, and looking for predictions, we can help.
All right. As an influencer, I always like to ask, name 2 or 3 conferences you've gone to or plan to go to. Obviously, MJ BizCon.
Right.
Any others?
Yeah, Organic Analytics. I'm here in Atlanta, so they're a newish cannabis-related show, if you will. They're 2 years old. Actually, I was about to speak at their here in October, but they postponed it until next spring. But it ends up to be a blessing in disguise because I get to do a webinar in the meantime prior to speaking at that event next spring. So as far as what my docket looks like in the cannabis space, I mean, it's still kind of early, but we're looking at things for spring of next year.
Sure. And then I also like to ask, what magazines or bloggers do you like to follow in addition to Marijuana Venture magazine?
Yeah. Well, at first, I guess, got my first article, if you will, or podcast, if you will, in the Cannabis Marketing Association. So that's okay. The first one. So that's the one off the top of my head.
Yeah, no, that's cool. And we're going to get you back. You shared with me that in 2022, early 2022, you're going to be publishing an article in Marijuana Venture, which was part of this whole motion of awarding you a leading CannaTech influencer designation. So we want to get you back and talk about that article. How's that sound?
Yeah, absolutely. Looking forward.
All right. Thanks for your time.
Hey, thanks, Harry.